I do not like defenders, especially after this update. Now, I already had a big problem with defenders, mainly because of the fact that they get in the way of how I play. As you guys can see, I'm slanging them up, like I'm swinging it beat. No cap, I got me a little cloak shadow build with Blakebeard. You know what I'm saying? I'm slanging them up. I need melee kills. Like, I'm still in the early game with ventures, but because I'm in the early game in ventures, the defenders, especially with this update, they are very overtuned. And every time I get into a mission, because I normally do ventures with Phil, by the way, and I talked about this in one of my previous videos, that ventures is not really that fun to play by yourself. So I try to get in the beginning of the season so I can play with more people, so that way ventures is a lot more smooth. But I don't need it, you know, I don't need it to be this smooth now. Like, damn, like every time I load into a mission, I'm getting teammates that's got these defenders that's using that damn AR, you know what I'm saying? Like, that bit going crazy. And it's like the weapons that the defenders have is 130 to 144. It can be as powerful as the player, and that's fine in the normal game, but in ventures it's way overtuned, because literally I'm in here trying to get melee kills. I'm not actually just using this loadout to go crazy in an encampment mission. No, I actually needed melee kills for a ventures challenge, but I can't even get them really because the defenders are wiping everything out. And the fact that the defenders, whenever they use these weapons that have gimmicks, their gimmicks don't have a cooldown, so there's no downside to the defenders running these weapons. Now, as much as I would love to be on the player side about this change, and like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying, you trying to take away all the fun and like make Epic nerf these shit, like, you really lame for that. No cap, I am lame. Yes, I'm not gonna lie, I am lame. I got my hands in the air. I am lame. Like I said, defenders, especially with the way that they are right now, they definitely conflict with the way I play. I want to use them, and I've mainly talked about this in one of my previous videos. I wanted to use defenders more to try to be on y'all side. Like, this was before the change though. I wanted to use defenders more on my roofs whenever I solo 160s, so that way they can help with flingers, but they still made it hard for me to, and I'm talking about before the update, by the way, they still made it hard for me to use them because they would just glitch out or they would get in my way. How do I put you on top of my roof and then you end up being downed on the ground in the midst of the traps and stuff like that? I'm like, you're not even supposed to be down here. You were supposed to be on top of the roof. Why are you even dead right now? I don't like the fact that you can draw aggro from lobbers and propane huskies and flingers and stuff and literally just get my trap tunnel shredded up. Like, that defeats the purpose of y'all even being in here in the first place. I mainly have been doing these 160s solo so I can get better at the game, but these defenders, they make it very hard for me to improve really, because this is one area of the game that I am not fully fleshed out in. I think the biggest argument you can have against these defenders right now is just the fact that they don't really work that well in ventures, because ventures is known for you not being able to use your weapons, and lo and behold, now you have defenders who can use your weapons that's in your home base. Kind of conflicts with the identity of ventures anyway, although you can always just say that the priority should be that the players are having a lot of fun, and as such, if it really come down to it, I can just solo these missions. Once you get to the 140s or in the higher level missions in ventures anyway, the level of the defenders will level out, honestly, so it's not that bad. It's just the early game really, especially if I made it to ventures in a previous season as a beginning game player and I got a legendary defender. I should be able to use what I earned in previous seasons. Like, they're literally giving these people away, and I have the resources because I've been doing ventures to use it in ventures. So last thing I want to talk to y'all boys about is deliver the bomb. Y'all already see it going on in the background. Now right here I got a undercover buzz loadout going on here. I got a little bit of SMG damage in here as well, and I had like one teammate in here for the game. He's also running defenders, but his isn't that bad because we actually are in the 160s, so it makes sense. He can do that. And I got this lightning pistol. It does not have chain lightning on it. I have it with affliction because that's what I just decided to craft. I wanted to try it out and it did pretty well. So now essentially deliver the bomb is just delivering the bomb, as in once you get the bomb to the launcher, the game ends. And I actually think that that's pretty cool. Only real problem I got with deliver the bomb right now is the fact that it still does not count towards your 160s. You actually still can't place tracks on builds. So if you still get an impossible spawn, you might not be able to do anything. Now this right here that I got going on right here, this surprised me. I didn't think I'd actually be able to place it like that. So when I seen that, I just decided to test it on like other slopes and stuff, just to see if maybe they made it to where maybe you can't place it over water or on builds, but you can still probably place it on a slope. So I tested it, and no, it just has to be a very specific type of terrain in order for you to place it. But one thing that is also a problem with Deliver the Bomb, which I hope they actually fixed, it kind of goes into the terrain thing, is the fact that technically you really only got one path to get to the launcher. Like back then, that used to be a problem. You can only take one way. I don't know if they fixed that with this, like with this game specifically. We could really only go one way, because I was trying to see if I can make multiple paths by just going to the right and to the left, but we ended up not being able to go to the right because of the water. So I went on ahead and went to the left, and my teammate built the stuff that's on the ground right here. He got windows. I think it's mainly for the defenders, and all the builds that's at the top, I placed that stuff. And I got like this little opening. It's not exact, but I got like a little bit of an opening for the flingers and stuff, because the main thing that they did with this update was, of course, once you get it to the launcher, the game ends, but the enemies is way more diverse. It almost defeats the purpose, at least for me right now, to run Deliver the Bomb. Deliver the Bomb does not have any modifiers either, so the rewards that you would normally get from a Deliver the Bomb isn't even that special either. You can low-key get something that's really simple, like how I got in this run, where the path to get to the launcher is so short that this mission doesn't take any time at all. I don't even think there's a time limit on here, because if it was, you would still be able to see it in the gameplay. But the fact that there's no time limit means that it's based off of what your launcher and your armory spawns are like, which is kind of crazy, I ain't gonna lie. I don't necessarily think this is a critique. It's just something that I noticed. And there's also a cutscene at the end of the mission. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm kind of indifferent about Deliver the Bomb, but it's all right. It's cool. I don't think there's nothing wrong with what they done did here.
I've been through a lot in this life. I know this life is a fight. I'm here to show others the light. I thank God, He helping me with every night.